Today, on the Recycling Rejects, we tell you about the 7 pillars of the NAMWC.
I'm Rain.
And I'm Izzy. Let's get into it. Starting off, the first pillar, public resource, very important. This was the solution to ownership issues. So instead of all the wealthy and noble people owning the land, the citizens of each state owned the wildlife collectively, meaning each state is responsible for managing their wildlife populations in a sustainable manner.
And for the second one, elimination of market hunting, this one specifically prohibited commercial hunting and wildlife sales, to make sure animal populations stay thriving. Whoa! The principle says that this kind of hunting and selling is unacceptable due to declines, and we don't want any animal declines in population.
Absolutely not, we do not. So next in the pillars is allocation by law. And if you don't know what allocation means, it's to apportion for a specific purpose or a particular person or things. So to distribute or set apart from something equally. This pillar states that the government is primarily responsible by law to manage wildlife. So they set hunting limitations, season dates, license requirements, and daily bag limits.
And the next pillar stated that it was unlawful and unethical to kill animals without having a legitimate reason, which means the only reason you should hunt is for food, fur, self-defense, and protection of property.
Now, wildlife travels constantly, and most of the time they travel far. Like in Ohio, you can see a bunch of geese travel all the time. They're going somewhere warm. So the NAMWC developed the pillar of international resource to acknowledge them as they travel through countries, because we don't want our geese to be shot down. Many of the species are considered an international resource, and several treaties recognize that all countries have the responsibility to share management of wildlife that cross national borders.
And now for the science-based wildlife policy. There was a really big period of time where people just wanted to excessively hunt and wiped out a bunch of other species and shrank many others. Now come on, you do not need to do all that hunting. So they made this pillar, and it was created to ensure a sustainable use of resources that would only be taken for if they had to instead of personal reasons. This pillar helped fairly manage wildlife and keep them safe.
For the last pillar, we have democracy of hunting, a reflection of European culture where only nobility could own wildlife, and common people were not permitted to harvest them. Shame, shame, shame.
But, in today's world, the government allows access to the public to own wildlife. These democratic principles when giving access, so regardless of your wealth, prestige, or land ownership, everyone can have an equal and fair opportunity to harvest wildlife.
But you must follow the same regulations as all the other pillars. These pillars keep our wildlife safe and overall make the great outdoors a better place.
For all walks of life. That concludes the pilot episode of the Recycling Rejects, cooking it up in the green room of doom. Thanks for listening to us.
We'll see you next time, but never, because this was a one-time thing.
Give me half the time.